Hey guys, welcome back to One All's Pub. On the bar top in front of you tonight, we have another Cold Steel. This is the Cold Steel Medium Voyager clip point. A great little EDC knife. Full flat grind blade, Aus 8A steel. Beautiful stone wash on these things. Really mean little slicer. Put a nice little 18-degree per side, kind of my standard edge on it on the wicked edge. I can get the camera to play. I don't know. This is so thin behind the edge that it doesn't hardly have much of a bevel at all, so it's not really great for showing off. In this case, you can see a little bit of it there. I can get it to quit focusing on Bert. There we go. There you go. You can see my hand moving in the background behind the camera. Love Aus 8 for it's so easy to sharpen and it just takes such a beautiful polish and so easy to touch back up. I mean, it doesn't stay sharp forever, you know, like S30V or S35 or 204P or M390 or whatever, but man, it's so easy to sharpen back up. For a user knife, if you know how to sharpen your knives, this is and know how to maintain them, it's a pretty nice steel. The knife itself is on the smaller side. It's actually it's a 3-inch blade. It's actually a hair under that. It's more like, actually, I take that back. I think on this guy it is exactly 3 inches. It's one of those rare cold steels that doesn't cheat on blade length. Let's look at the brother here, the Mini Recon, wearing a toad sticker custom scale in OD green linen micarta. Isn't that just lovely? Let's look at these two blade wise. Yeah, you can see that. In this case, line the edges of the scale up. You can see that the Voyager is just a hair longer, and it is legitimate. This is actually 2 7/8, even though they advertise the Mini Recons as 3. This one actually really hits the 3 mark, which is kind of cool. That they actually measured them right for once. So it's a 3-inch blade, very thin stock, real nice EDC slicing knife. Grivery handle, Griv-X, whatever you want to call it. Really good ergonomics. Now, I've heard some people and read some online reviews talking about this handle and saying that it's an afterthought or that it's got weird ergonomics and whatnot. And that's just not the case. It's got great ergonomics. It fits right in your hand. And this little ledge here that's built for the pinky, the handle isn't built to do. I mean, if you're a small child or a woman or something like that, you get all 4 fingers in there. That's fine. But that's not how it's built. That little pinky ledge is meant to be there, and like that, and it forms a perfect little place for that pinky to rest and gives nice gripping, push cutting, putting the blade, the belly into material. It gives you a nice driving, rotational pivot force, rotating around a central pivot. With that, the pinky has a lot to do when you're grabbing and driving force like this. If you're doing sword cutting, you cut at that pinky is where that rotation of the sword flick happens, and that's designed to have a nice little grab right there. So this actually aids. Some people might think that's an ergonomic flaw or an afterthought. It's not. That's actually purposefully designed, I'm sure, because it's so well done. On a small handle, they could have omitted that and not had that there, but they went ahead and left it there because it allows this small blade then to be able to really have the belly put into material well. It feels in many ways very similar to a couple of other knives which nobody ever complains about ergonomically. The Dragonfly by Spyderco. You hold this knife and then you hold this knife and you find that your pinky finger is in roughly the same situation. You never hear people complain about the ergos of that knife. It's just, I think visually people think that looks like the hand is supposed to fit in there, and when it doesn't, they think, oh, it's too small, they screw up the ergonomics. I've heard complaints about that. Sorry, it's just not the case. It feels great in the hand. As a matter of fact, it feels very similar to this, the Benchmade Mini Onslaught. Again, the way the butt of this knife tails down, leaves that pinky right there, it feels virtually the same. So if you like the way this feels, and or you like the way this feels, then, and you don't have a problem with their ergonomics, then you should like the way this feels and not have a problem with its ergonomics. Don't let how it looks, don't let the fact that it looks like it should fit you here and distract you. It actually got very good ergonomics, and you can choke up on it right in here. It's not really a forward finger choil per se. It doesn't have an actual choil cut out, but it certainly gives room, much like the Viper Odino that I reviewed a couple weeks ago. You can just choke up in that area, and you got very nice close work. You got a perfect spot for the thumb to sit right there, and you can do very detailed work, no problem whatsoever. You can even choke forward on the clip here of the blade and get in for real detailed work. So very nice. Of course, it has the Andrew Demko TriAd lock that most Cold Steels have. Great, super durable, way overbuilt lock for a small EDC knife like this. Rock solid. Is this one a free dropper? I can't remember. This one I have set just a little tight because when I set it to free drop, it gives me just a little blade play, I think. So this one, I think I do have it set just a hair tighter. Most of your TriAd locks, at least mine do, I can get them to free drop and still be rock solid. So this one, rock solid, but does take just a little bit of a shake to get it to go down. But again, not really an issue. You know what this is great about this knife too is that with this steel, Ausse, which is pretty comparable to something like let's say a VG10, and the FRN type handle, you know, it's a Grivery, but FRN basically. It's a liner knife. It's got inserted liners or nested liners. A TriAd lock, which is much like a back lock. You know, it's just a back lock with on steroids, basically. This knife is an awesome competitor to for significantly less price. For about what I think I got this for $29. To the Spyderco Delica. I know, sounds like a crazy claim, but think about it. Same basic parts, same type of construction, back lock. You know, this has a better lock than the Delica. You may argue that the Delica has a more attractive pattern on its FRN, but this is equally as grippy. Like I said, the blade steels are pretty comparable. The edgewise, whatnot, edge holding and rust resistance and all that. Ausse 8A though is not so fingerprint crazy like VG10 is. If you're a little OCD, the way that VG10 fingerprints is kind of maddening. You know, this is actually a pretty comparable. It's even comparable weight-wise. Bert, why don't you go ahead and give us the specs? I don't remember exactly, but you know, it's just a nice light EDC. It's got perfect balance. If you're looking for a nice EDC and you're thinking about spending $50 or so on a Delica, whatever they run these days, think about getting one of these guys, especially while you can still find them in Ausse 8. They're going to come out with these in BD1, and I'm sure the price will go up. Cold Steel is going to be kicking it in 2015. Wow. A lot of Cold Steel stuff I want to pick up in 2015. We'll see how much I actually get, but if you can find these in Ausse 8, you're going to find deals on them. Like I said, $29, $27, whatever it was I paid for this. As compared to the Delica, it's a heck of a good deal on a heck of a nice little EDC knife. Yeah, check it out. See what you think. I recommend it as an EDC for sure. As an affordable, well-built, overbuilt, you're not going to break that knife option. Don't want to do a review of its big brother, the large, as well. I've got all three blade styles in it, the clip point, the Tanto, and the Vaquero. So looking forward to getting that on those on the bar top as well. I'm talking about them. Much bigger knives, but awesome built knives. The Voyager series is some of my favorites in the Cold Steel line. Anyway, that's 1 L 2 cents, guys. Keep the change. Sláinte.